They say plans in the adventure world are usually written in pencil. And this week, the eraser came out in a big way. I was supposed to be deep in the Victorian high country right now, working on a motorcycle adventure film project. With Victoria currently in a state of emergency, with bushfires flaring up, the very tracks we were meant to be filming are closed, and the job pushed back by a month to let things settle down. Usually a cancellation like that is a letdown, but my bikes are prepped, my bags are packed, and that itch to get out into the dust is too strong to ignore. So I called up my mate Lionel. His CRF 300L is currently in pieces for a rebuild, so I offered him the keys to the DRZ. The mission is simple, a 1,000-kilometer loop heading westbound towards the Grampians. 3 days, 2 nights, and a chance to turn a postponed job into a fresh adventure. Before airing down the tires and hitting the dirt, I had to get the pantry sorted. Massive shout out to the team at On Track Meal who sent me over a care package just in time for this trip. These have become my absolute go-to whenever I'm heading out into the bush. The real game changer though is pairing them with our flameless heating bags. I also got my hand on a new Endurostin Hurricane 15 backpack, sent to me by the legends at Motorcycle Adventure Products. When you're staring down a 1,000-click ride, your ergonomics and weight distribution are everything. Up until now, I've been carrying my video kit in a timber camera bag. They're great for organization, but they were never designed for the brutal reality of adventure riding. This Endurostin kit, however, is built exactly for what we're about to do. Day 1 kicked off in the rugged heart of Loaded Oak State Park, a place that never fails to serve up a heavy atmosphere. As we pulled away from the trailhead, the morning was draped in a cold, heavy silence that felt like a physical weight. The air here is biting, and the fog is thick. You can practically wear it. There's something undeniably eerie, yet meditative about riding through the morning mist in these valleys. It strips away all distraction of the outside world and the noise of daily life, narrowing your reality down to a steady hum of the engine and the trail directly in front of your tires. As we pushed westbound, the scenery did a complete 180. We left the lush, damp green of the forest behind and broke out into the arid, golden yellows of central Victoria. The temperature climbed, the visors went up, and the landscape opened up. From here, we pointed the front tires towards Waterloo. This section was easily one of the highlights of the day, a succession of flowy, high-speed trail that throws the occasional technical punch at you when you least expect it. I just had a new rear tire installed on the 450MT. I ended up staying with the Midas Enduro trails. There's something incredibly satisfying about a brand new rear tire. Those sharp square edges and deep lugs just look like they mean business. While the 450MT is a capable machine out of the box, it's a bike that truly comes alive when you give it a tire that can actually bite into the terrain. From here, we pushed on to Ben Major. I spent most of this section riding sweet behind Lionel, watching the DRZ like a hawk, listening to any bogging or coughing. But she sounds crisp. No hesitation, no flat spots. That 162 main jet seems to be working nicely, but I reckon I can get a little bit more with a 165. Seeing Lionel comfortable and the bike pulling hard meant the hours in the garage were worth it. As we entered the final hours of the day, our focus shifted towards Mount Cole, cutting through the dense, rugged stands of Fourth Bush. The air grew colder as we climbed higher into the granite plateau. Our goal for the night was Mugwump Hut, a secluded little sanctuary nestled high in the forest near the headwaters of Middle Creek. It's one of those classics, quintessential bush spot, isolated, quiet, and steeped in history. I can't even begin to tell you how stoked I am that I finally have the DRZ running in top shape again. For a while there, I felt like a bike and I were constantly at odds, mostly thanks to some nagging carburetor caveats that had been dragging down the performance down for way too long now. There's a certain rhythm about camping with a mate you've known for 2 decades. You don't need to talk much to get camp set up, but once the boots come off, the stories start coming out. Lionel and I haven't spent much time on the trails together in a while, so catching up was long overdue. After a day of technical riding dodging dust, a hot, easy meal that actually tastes good is a luxury you can't overstate. Day 2 started exactly like the first, under a thick, heavy blanket of fog. We packed up damp gear, eager to hit the horizon. Our destination? The Grampians. I've had a bit of a complicated relationship with that place over the years. I passed through recently on my way back from a Moto trip, but being on the trail end of a 2,000-kilometer trip, I didn't explore the area much. The time before that, I managed to break 2 metatarsals in my foot just 20 minutes after arriving while setting up camp, which seriously limited my ability to explore the park. Hopefully, 3rd time's the charm. Finally, the mountain rose out of the mist, like ancient stone sentinels, and the terrain shifted again. After a morning of riding through heavy skies, the atmosphere shifted. The Grampians have a silhouette unlike anywhere else in Australia, and seeing those jagged, tilted sandstone was a signal that today's adventure was about to begin. As we crossed the threshold into the park, the ground beneath us changed instantly. The hard-packed forest soil gave way to the iconic fine-grained Grampian sand. It's the kind of terrain that demands a shift in riding style and a trust in momentum. We spent the first half of the day deep in the labyrinth of trails that snake across the western range. There's a specific kind of flow state you find out there. Shifting weight, sliding the rear wheels through corners, and watching the mist-covered peaks play hide-and-seek through the trees. Navigating that network of trails was a masterclass in versatility. It's exactly the kind of riding I had come here for. The transition from the western range to the sandy tracks of the eastern side felt like entering an entirely different world. We spent the rest of the day navigating the winding tracks that hug the spine of the eastern range. There's a massive difference between seeing the Grampian through a car window and experiencing them from the saddle of a bike. On 2 wheels, you aren't just an observer, you're a part of the environment. You feel the sudden drops in temperature as you dip into the shadow of the massive cliff faces. You smell the distinct honey-like scent of the drying heathland. And you have a 360-degree front row seat to some of the best scenery in Australia. The MT handles the soft stuff really well. It's got a great balance that makes the sand feel less of a chore and more of a playground. As the sun began to dip behind the jagged silhouette of the range, we pulled into a quiet clearing by the river. A transition from the high-octane buzz of the mountain trails to the stillness of the water was instant. While the engines roar, the concentration required for the sand track keeps the adrenaline spiked. The rhythmic bubbling of a creek does the exact opposite. It's a natural reset button. It seemed to wash away the mental fatigue of a day spent staring down ruts and technical sand trails, settling the soul in a way only the bush can. We parked the bikes, listening to the familiar ticking of the cooling metal as the engine radiated their last of their heat into the evening air. Sitting back on the grassy bank, we didn't say much at first, just watched the light fade. We spent the next hours retracing our steps, reflecting on the sheer variety of the days gone. Day 3 was all about the long haul back to Melbourne. 1,000 kilometers, time spent on the trail with a mate, one dusty new backpack, and 0 mechanical issues. It wasn't the high country film job I had in my calendar, but honestly, riding with an old mate and shaking down a bike that's been sitting in my garage for way too long, I wouldn't trade it for anything. The mountains will still be there in February, but this trip, this was exactly the reset I needed. As always, thank you so much for joining me, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.